Hi there, it's Jen, and it is Friday, February 13th. It's Galentine's Day, the day before Valentine's Day, and happy Valentine's Day to all of you out there. Thanks for joining me today. I'm sorry I'm a couple minutes late, technology. Actually, if you were there, let me know if it's working because I wasn't getting a confirmation on my microphone, so I'm hoping that you can hear me okay. So what I like to do is I like to start off my live, so I'll make a card from start to finish, but I like to start by showing what I made the week before. So here is the card that I made the week before, right here, with the beautiful blossoms, I'm going to say, and now all of a sudden I'm guessing myself. It might be something beauty. So made that card with the beautiful stitching around the edges here. Those rectangle dies are on the last chance list. So I'll put a link in here to last week's video so you can see what that is. So in order to get in on that draw, all you have to do is comment, like, and share. And thank you, Nicole, and hello. Thank you for confirming that you can hear me. Okay, that's good. So I'll just bring up my screen really quickly here, and then I will get started making today's card. So I'm just going to share my screen. And here we go. Often comes up with an ad first just because I'm using a free version of this software. Okay, so I've got it all set up. Anyone who'd like to comment and share last week, here we go. As long as you're Canadian and not a demonstrator, you can win. And Vila, congratulations and thank you for watching. Vila says hello. So I will get that card in the mail to you, Vila. And let me just show you another one I made. Let me just stop the share for a second. Well, stop it forever because we don't need it anymore. And then I'm going to just pop right to the table here. So here's one I made right after the live, and I didn't use this rectangle because I had started on a smaller piece of white. So just to show you how much it can change a look of a card, showing more dark on this one, showing more light on this one, just changes the whole mood of the card, doesn't it? Other than that, they're almost identical, other than on this one I did have an extra die cut, whereas this one I just stamped it, and I did put a bow on this one as opposed to this one. So again, just a little bit different, but feel that card's going in the mail to you, and I will get started with today's. Hello, Lisa, how are you? Nice to see you. I am using this stamp set today. It's called Lovely Arrangements. It's got these pretty flowers and leaves, and then all these sayings. This is a good one for sayings, and it's got things where you can add them in, so you can say, thank you, you are so lovely, or thank you so very much, or just a note, hello friend, or something. So you can mix and match those things, which are nice. But what I got attracted to first with this stamp set, besides the greetings, is the dies. So the dies often will cut out the images. So this one does have dies that will cut out the image, but it also has a couple fun ones. So it's got a couple of extra leaves in here that you can die cut. It's got the pieces for the flowers and the leaves. It's got two background pieces, which I'm going to use both today. And it's got two little oval type things that you can use to cut out for sentiments. So I thought that was kind of fun. And I thought I'll show you how we're going to do that. So I think what I'll do first, what am I going to do first? Let's bring in the machine first and get that out of the way. And I'm going to bring in a piece of petal pink. I'm going to bring in my machine. And I'm just going to pop my camera up a little bit higher so you can see better. You can see all the mess around too. And I'm going to take this background piece from this die set, and I'm going to open my machine up here. So this is a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine from Stampin' Up. I have in here plate 1. I'll turn around so you can see it. Plate 1, it's labeled. It comes with the machine. Plate 2 also comes with the machine. Plate 3 also comes with the machine. And then I'm going to put down this little piece of petal pink, and I'm going to put this die down here. I'm actually going to tape it in place because I just don't want it to move on me. I'll show you this tape in a second too. It's removable tape that I have here. It's this one here. It's on my website under Jen Recommends. It's just removable tape. So it's nice because you can put it down on something. This is another plate 3, by the way. And your plates don't look like this when you get them. They're clear, but mine have been well used, and they're still great. So removable tape doesn't rip the cardstock and yet keeps everything in place for you. Okay, so let me just move all this out of the way. I don't always bring in the machine. Sometimes I pre-do stuff, but it's nice to see it sometimes too. I have pre-done a few things here just to make the video not so long and tedious. So look what it does. Isn't that cute? So you can just take your take a pick tool. There we go. And just poke out any extra little bits that didn't quite come out. Sometimes I run it back and forth twice, but this is kind of a small space, and that often will get out all those extra little bits. So isn't that fun? Just for the bottom of the card, it's going to be great. So I have taken this piece here, this one right here, and run it through on Mossy Meadow cardstock. And we get this fun little background element. So we're going to use that too. I'm just going to put this aside. And I'm going to also die cut out some of our greeting and our flower that I'm going to use. So I'm just inking this with Tuxedo Black Memento ink because we're going to use blends with it, and that will keep it so it doesn't run on me. Doesn't bleed or anything like that. Hello to Beth and Alexa from Nova Scotia. Alexina from Nova Scotia. How are you today? Thanks for joining me. And then I'm just going to do thank you down here at the bottom. And this is an Old Olive. Let me just, it's not Old Olive, it's Mossy Meadow. And it needs re-inking. Look how I can tell. See how some of it's darker and lighter? So I need to add some more ink refill to that. You know what? Let's just do that live here too. An extra lesson. I noticed this the other day when I was working with it. So make sure you, first of all, you have the correct ink refill bottle. So this is Mossy Meadow and this is Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to just put a couple drops in here because you can always add more. It's harder to take it away. And you can see how much, well, you probably can't on the camera, but it's soaking right into the ink pad, which means it really is dry or dryish. And then I'm just going to use the tip of the ink refill to kind of rub it in. And because these ink pads have the ink on the lid, I'm just going to let it sit there and soak in. Often I'll just leave it overnight and then it'll be sort of spread throughout the whole thing and I can use that again. Okay, so I'm just going to put that away. That was a bonus lesson on how to ink your ink pads. Okay, I'm going to grab my blends markers to color this. So I have here Petal Pink. You know what? I'm going to show you the paper. This is the inspiration, the paper. Hold on. This paper is called Brushed with Beauty. It actually matches the stamp set that I used last week. It is such a pretty bunch of paper. This is actually my second package. That's how much I like it. Look at that paper. So pretty. And it's got the colors that I'm using so far that I've pulled out. Petal Pink, Mossy Meadow, Calypso Coral. There's even some Darling Duckling in there. That piece is nice. Of course, you get two of everything. So look at that one. It's all Darling Duckling. That one's nice on the Mossy Meadow. But look at that. So pretty. Again, the background is, you know, more generic. You can use it for lots of different things. And then the front. And this is, you know, again, when these papers are so pretty like this, it's hard to cut them up sometimes. There's another one similar to the first page, but smaller. This is the one I'm using today, actually. And I'll show you the back one. And then the last one is really plain. And then those, which you can even cut out. So very pretty paper. That is called Brush with Beauty. And I just want to show you another package that I have here. It's actually meant to go with this stamp set. And I didn't use it. So the stamp set again is Lovely Arrangements. That's the one I'm using. So you can see right off the top that these flowers all match this. I'm just going to put that there so I don't lose it. So they're very similar. And this first piece is kind of cool because you can cut it up and make individual cards out of each of those pieces, or you can put these pieces down and do stuff with them. So there's 2 pages like that, or you can use the back side. Oh, sorry, 3 pages like that. Look at that. And then this pretty paper. This was in my newsletter this week. I think it was this one. Again, just beautiful paper that you could use without too much extra stuff on it. So there's 3 of those. And then this one with Secret C on the back. I didn't show you the back of this one. This one's just Petal Pink. Nice little pattern. And Secret C, look at that. And the reason I didn't use this paper is because last week I used the color combination with Secret C. So I thought this week we'll just change it up a little bit. Sorry, keep hitting the camera. That's pretty. It looks like material. It's pretty cool. Okay, so there we go. That's that paper. And that is called something lovely. It is called I grabbed the wrong one. Partially Beauty. I don't know. Whatever I told you at the beginning. Lovely. It matches the Lovely Arrangements. So if you look up Lovely Arrangements in the store, you'll find all the stuff that match it. Okay, back to the regular scheduled program here. I'm going to take my Petal Pink Blends marker, my light, and I'm going to color the petals. And I will hold this up as I go to show you what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything fancy here. I'm just getting some color on this so it's not plain white. But I'm not even worrying about if I get it all the way colored. I'm kind of leaving a little bit of white here and there. So let me hold that up so far so you can see what I'm doing. Turn around like that. Hello, Nancy. How are you? Okay. And then I'm going to take the dark Calypso Coral and add that to the center. So pretty. These are the two colors right here. Ta-da! Petal Pink and Calypso Coral. And then I'm going to take the light Calypso Coral and I'm going to just go over all those lines. The artist has already given us some areas that might be darker. I'm just using my light Calypso Coral and going over that. And then I'm going to take my dark Petal Pink and I'm just going to blend that out a little bit so it's a little bit lighter. It's going to blend out the Calypso Coral. And then I'm just going to go over these lines again, kind of blend them out a bit. And nothing fancy. I'm not doing any fancy coloring. I kind of want the lines to be there, and I want some of the white to be there. So then I would take my die, this die here, and I have a piece of tape on it as well. And I would put it on my machine, and then I would end up with a flower, which I've already cut out, just to make it go a little faster. And the same with this. I would take my die. You can either cut this out just like this, plain, and then stamp on it because it's photopolymer, so it's easy to line up, or you could cut that out. So I have one of those done too. Here you go. And I also cut out a set of the leaves from that. Now these are in Old Olive, and this one is in Mossy Meadow. Okay, so we have all our bits and pieces here. Just gonna take a sip of water and check and see if you guys are asking anything. Nicole, thank you. It's called Lovely Blossoms. Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate you. And Yvonne. Hello, Yvonne. Okay, so I'm going to build my card. I'm going to fold my card base in half. So this is half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. So it forms, when it's closed, 5.5 by 4.25. So then I've done this one a little bit smaller. So this is 5 by 3.75. And this next one is a little bit smaller still. This is 4.75 by 3.5. Actually, not even. I cut it even tighter. I did just a 1/16 inch border as opposed to a 1/8 of an inch border. So see how it's just showing a little bit of that Calypso Coral, but you can see it come through here. I didn't want the Calypso Coral to be overbearing. Let me just pull out these cards, this card here. So you can see here with a 1/4 inch border, it turns into a 1/8 inch border. You can see it's fatter on this one than it is on this one. Let me just show you this. Hold it up. I should stick it down so it doesn't move. So you can see here the difference in the size of the borders. So it just gives you a different look. That's all. Okay. So you can choose whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to tape this all together here. I'm going to put tape here, just in the various spots here. And stick that on. Now this is one of those ones that's a good candidate for liquid glue because I've got such a tight border. So it's a little hard shimmying into place, and I'm not on camera either. Let's just fix that. There we go. That looks pretty even. Okay, and that's going to go there. So you can see I have a bigger border around the whole card as well, which is nice. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Designer Series paper, and I'm going to take this piece, do some little piecework here together with it. So I'm going to cut this and this and this and this. Okay, so what I'm looking for is the rounded edge on all of these. Now I could cut them and make them rounded, but I tried and I really didn't do a great job. So I'm going to just use that piece. I'm going to turn this over. And I'm going to give lots of tape here on the back. And I'm going to hold this. I'm going to find the nice rounded edge here. And I'm going to stick this down and make it like a scallop. Isn't that cool? Hope you can see that. Okay, and then I'm going to grab this one here. And I think I'm going to cut this one. Let me see. Do I want to cut that one off? Yep, because it was one of the edge ones. So you won't even be able to tell that I'm piecing it together right there. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. So you can see there's, hopefully I'm going to lay that on there. So you can see that there's a rough, doesn't show up very well, does it? Hold on. There we go, that shows up better. So you can see on the right, it's nice and smooth. That was the edge, and that's the inside where I cut. So I want to take the nice smooth edge. By smooth, I mean rounded and smooth. And put it there. And this one. So that was just all out of one piece. There we go. And then I'm going to just take my scissors and I'm going to trim off all that excess. And I've got myself a nice scallop border. So you could totally use this piece as a background piece, but I think it's kind of fun like this. So I'm just going to add more tape here, and this is going to go right on here, like this. Making sure it's straight. How pretty is that so far? Love it. Okay, so I'm going to add this piece here with, no, I think I'm going to leave it flat. Thank you. Okay, and then I'm going to add this with dimensionals. And I'm going to just put a little bit of tape right here. Hang my leaves down there. Maybe a little bit lower. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dimensional right on top of there. I'll hold this up so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to put one there, one there, one there. So that one's holding the leaves on, as well as going to be the pop-up for this flower. Pretty flower. How pretty is that? Love it. Okay, so two more things I'm going to do to it. I'm going to add Wink of Stella. This is our glitter pen, and may or may not show up on the camera. Oh, you can see a little bit of glimmer there happening. And then, of course, I need to add some gems. In this case, I'm going to add a single gem. What you want to do is you always want to add odd numbers. So I'm going to add one gem. And I had a couple options here. So this is the Moody palette dots. So they have white, cloud cover, old olive, which would work because these are all old olive, or secret sky. These are antique pearls. So they have a bit of a green sheen to them. So they would probably work too, but I think I'm going to stick with what I did for my sample. And these are the Pearls of Beauty, which go with the card that I made last week. And they have crumb cake, which I'm totally going to use all those ones up. Calypso coral and a white. It's kind of a pearly white. Again, the camera may or may not pick that up, but because we have Calypso coral on here, I think this is going to be perfect. And I've got that big space right there, so I'm going to add that. So you could add more if you wanted, but I think that that is enough. And it's a pretty simple thank you card with a fun little element. And just a reminder, because I have another one die cut here, this is what that piece looked like. And then I just cut it all up to get those scallops on there. So you could do a long version if you wanted to, too, by just piecing that together. I think I have a card. I'm going to put that there for a second. And here's my original, which I think is almost identical. Sometimes I do them a little bit different, but I'm going to put that there so you can see it. I think I have a sample from a swap that I was just in that shows that piece in full. So let me see if I can grab it. I should have thought of it ahead of time, but I didn't. Oh, here we go. Yes, I do. Yay. And it's using the same flower. Okay, so this is from one of my team members, Diana. Does lovely work. And look at this pretty card that she made. This is the card that made me want that die set because I loved how that background piece looks. And look how she's stamped the same flower in black, but on a colored piece of cardstock, fresh freesia. And it's just really pretty with the embossing in the background. And the same thank you, just cut out a different way. So very pretty. So let's see what you're saying. Nicole's a very pretty card. Hello, Phyllis. And Alexina, am I butchering your name, Alexina? Tell me. Beautiful card, she says. Again, thank you, Nicole, for letting us know that that is a lovely Blossoms paper, that paper here. And oh, I wanted to tell you that I was very strategic about how I cut this. So those sheets come in 12 by 12. Let me just pull one of them over here. Okay, well, it'll be this one. So I cut it at 4 inches. So I got 3 across, and then I cut it at 2 inches. So I would get 6 down, and there was absolutely no waste on that paper at all. So that's part of the reason I wanted the scalloped, was to fluff that piece up just a little bit more too. Okay, Beth loves both. Great. Thanks, Beth. Well, I can't take credit for this one, but like I said, this one is the one that inspired me. I'm like, oh, look at that background. That's so cool. But then I thought, oh, I can do some other things with that too. So love it. Okay, guys, that is pretty much the show for today. Wishing you a happy weekend filled with love. And like I said, today's Galentine's Day, as they say, the day before Valentine's Day. So hopefully you can send some love to a gal friend. Okay, so take care, guys, and thank you so much today for watching. And I will see you all again next week. Take care. Bye-bye now.